Out onto the field, the next two teams. And it is once again Pool D, and it is a sight of the favourites for this tournament. You'd say slight favourites, but favourites nonetheless. The way they've been playing recently and the pedigree in the game. Nobody plays sevens like Fiji. Uganda have to try and somehow not stop them here. They're not going to win this game. Fiji surely will, but find something against the flying Fijians. And look at the size of them. David Murphy's not a big man, the referee from Australia, but Fiji have that combination of size and power, pace and skill.
All good.
The complete sevens package. Jerry Tuai, perhaps the smallest man on the Fijian side, the captain, a dazzling number 9, the famous number 9 shirt of Fiji that has been worn by so many great players. And there's always a buzz of anticipation, expectation when a Fijian sevens side runs onto the pitch.
Certainly in the heights they've hit this season, this is going to be a spectacular performance. The crowd well and truly going to be entertained, as are people at home.
Look at the height on that restart, just slap back, and that is a perfect start. And it's Tuai who's through. One of the quickest tries you'll see. And, well, Uganda perhaps could have done a little bit more, but in terms of coaching sevens and watching sevens and how to play sevens, that was ideal. The hang time on that restart and the skill to get it back.
Yeah, and so often they don't catch it. They don't want to catch it. There we can see the big old back. Jasavo Malua, storm performer, always leading from the front for this Fijian team, and just all too easy for him. Gets up high, doesn't need to catch it, bats it back, and the slip shooting behind him. Tuai on this occasion gets it. And sometimes playing against Fiji, the best analogy is trying to stop a flood with a sponge. They are just irrepressible. They're that good across the park. So difficult when their skills are that good.
And the conversion is good as we relive on the big screen the opening try. And the man taking the restarts is Ravovo. And this time just a little bit lackadaisical underneath it, Mofunathagi, but it still comes back the way of Fiji, and they have a penalty in any case. Uganda kicking it illegally. And once more the chance for Fiji and Varamalua. And then it comes back to Tuai. Let's keep an eye on Tuai. Kunabula carries it in. And then shifted back by Varamalua. And on to Mofunathagi. And he finds support. Great offloading in the tackle always. And then again the size and the power of Johnny Sinakula. And through they go once again. It's Sao, Eroni Sao underneath. There's no rush about it for Fiji. They're just waiting for their moment. They're waiting for the gap to appear. Good handling, patient play, and Eroni Sao in for his first try of the game.
Well, he's been one of the finds of the season, Eroni Sao. They call him the sledgehammer, and when Uganda get the ball, you'll see why that is. But he's pretty good with ball in hand also. Big left foot step. This Fijian team almost born with a side step. They ask questions on the defence, squares them up, lovely little step on the inside, and just loses no pace. Eroni Sao really is a special sevens player and a great person as well.
You know, whether you love sport or not, whether you love rugby or not, you still appreciate the skill of the Fijian sevens side. It's a very easy sport to watch, sevens, and in particular when you're watching Fiji play. Again, the high hanging kick, you look at it, just, well, it falls short this time of 10 metres, but Uganda have it in any case, so an opportunity perhaps for Sabuliba. And let's see what Uganda can offer here. And run into the big white wall offered by Sao. And the turnover is there, and Sao digging away for it.
Second entry.
And Uganda
Come back in, I'll get the light. Your penalty.
offering just a couple of infringements as well, making life a bit easier for Fiji.
Yeah, they're going to have to make it a bit of a wrestle at the breakdown. That's the only opportunity teams often have against Fiji, but they don't like creating breakdowns and rooks, so they like to keep the ball moving. The best way of describing the Fijian play is almost like a rugby version of netball. They're just constantly in motion, and you see the size, the likes of Mofunathagi. When that man's in space, it's just a matter of when he offloads, not if.
Taken down comfortably by Kanabula. And look at the power of Drani Sinikula. And just a couple of meters short of try number 3 for Fiji, moving it out wide. A little bit loose and ragged, but gathered up by Mofunathangi, and in he goes, just gets it down before the dead ball line. And it's not that it's a training exercise, but it's a good opportunity for some of these players to try and work a few things and just feel their way around the pitch. There'll be tougher tests to come. That game against Wales in a few hours' time, but they're enjoying themselves here.
Yeah, and that's absolutely synonymous with this Fijian team. They love every single second they've got a ball in hand, or they're on a rugby pitch even. Often these players have grown up playing with plastic bottles with sand in to replicate a ball, so put them in front of this many people on a wonderful surface, of course they're going to have fun, and that's part of the whole package Fiji bring.
You know, their head coach, as was Ben Ryan, now Gareth Baber, so the British trend continues of head coaches for Fiji with the Welshman taking over. But Ben Ryan always said when he used to see the players run out Fiji, if they were happy and relaxed, he knew they were going to win. Sometimes they had psychological switches that he knew they might be in a bit of trouble, but when they are happy and confident, he wasn't concerned at all. Penalty to Fiji again, Uganda holding on in the tackle.
Yeah, exactly right, and Ben brought a lot of things to this Fijian team, one of which was these contact skills. So himself and Chris Cracknell, both Englishmen, declared that Fiji don't practice breakdowns on the beach. So what did he do when he moved there? He got them doing breakdowns on the beach. And this physical element they're now bringing to their game makes the whole package slightly more intimidating.
Captain Tuwai gives it on to Ravovo. And he's double teamed, but Tuwai almost through the middle. There's always a man in support as well. This time it's carried on by Danesunukula, and then out wide they go. Ravovo just waiting, dancing, giving on to Veramalua, and Veramalua up to within 3-4 meters. Space out wide, a spin. Ravovo with a finish. Did he get it down? They might have a look at it. They're going to check.
You happy with grounding?
Grounding is good. Just checking whether it was in touch.
Nice and close here? Yeah, okay, no worries. Anthony, you got me there, please?
Yes, I do.
Try
So
please.
phone up to Anthony Moyes, television match official. They don't take long on these, you don't need to.
So it's just touch they're looking for. The grounding was good, they decided. And so let's see if Ravovo has got it down before finding touch, so that will be given.
You're not really going to get a better position than the
when
touch
you're on
judge there.
screen, you can award the try.
Okay, I may award the try.
So one more try for the Fijian collection, untroubled as yet by Uganda. At the very least, Uganda will be looking for Sri Lanka scored a try against Fiji. They'll just be looking for that one moment to celebrate. They know they're not going to win this game. They're just trying to compete against the very best in the game.
They just need the ball first and foremost. This restart's so dominant by Fiji, they've got any chance on it. When they do have the ball, Ugandans have a couple of great players, and the brothers Okarash and Wakarash, they've been doing well all year on the 7 series. Number 5 there, you can see at the breakdown, Philip with a scrum hat on. He can do some good things, but it's just a stranglehold by this Fijian team.
Embrace between Tuwai and Ravovo. Stalwarts of this side. Still time to restart, so even as you see 2 seconds, 1 second gone, there's still an opportunity for Fiji here. The hooter sounds and nobody able to get close to that for Uganda, so it's slapped back in rather dramatic and lusty fashion by Fiji, and Ravovo once again. And Fiji, as the yellow defence creeps up, just looking for that gap of light to zip through. And Sao up to the 10-metre line, and Fiji will fancy another score here before half-time. There is Tuwai, off to Ravovo, and he gives it casually to Kanabula, and Kanabula nearly through, but Fiji are creeping on. The ball loose though, and that'll be knocked forward, and so Uganda have survived this particular attack. No more scores in this first half for Fiji, who would have wanted it, but well, they're in control, no doubts about that. Heading into the break with a 26-0 lead.
Yeah? It's only 5 tries, you can make it. Yeah? Next point is on the kickoffs. If you're going to kick to Sebuliva, let's give him some support. Yeah? They've isolated him. Yeah, so Judder and
We'll have to applaud the optimism of Talbot Onyango, the Ugandan coach. It's 5 tries, we can make it. So remain positive is the message.
I mean, these insights you get at the half-time huddles, apart from Neil Diamond blasting in the background, wonderful to hear. I just can't believe a coach in that type of environment suggests you're going to get 5 tries. I mean, fair play, you're out there, you're enjoying yourselves. But the players' reaction to that was absolutely comical, just looking around at each other thinking survival would be good enough for me here.
But also perhaps a few more technical messages than we saw there from Onyango. I'm not sure what sort of royalties Neil Diamond gets from the 7th Circuit, but this is a staple of every tournament around the year, belted out from Dubai to Hong Kong and beyond. And the thing about 7s as well, it's not just about the sport on the field, it is the whole entertainment package, and the crowds get into it like nothing on earth. If you've ever seen the Hong Kong 7s or Dubai 7s or wherever they play, but in particular Hong Kong, I think it is quite a show.
It is. They call it a festival of action. The marketeers run rife. It's action-filled on it and just as much action off it.
Uganda get us going in the second half. Little dinked restart down the middle, and Uganda take the ball, and they have the penalty as well. High tackle by Fiji. So let's see if Uganda can make an assault on those 5 tries. Desiree Ayera carries it in. And then moved rather laboriously out wide. A little switch from Wokarach gives it on to Sebuliba. And then scuttling backwards is Okarach. So you've got Wokarach and Okarach, who are brothers. Slightly different spelling of their surname. And ambitious, pays off. Support there as well, but surely went forward. Referee lets it go. Crowd willing on Uganda as well. Carried in by Sebuliba. And then Wokarach, Philip Wokarach has it, shifts the play. And the Rubina crowd desperately wants a Ugandan try. The kick, though, just overcooked into touch it went. As I say, usually keeping ball in hand is everything in 7s, but Uganda happy to kick on a couple of occasions there. Almost paid off, but opportunity now for Fiji to come from deep. Little hitch kick step, Kanabula. Oh, and then the step, and Fiji might be away. Just 1 or 2 missed tackles, and 7s will create a try. And the size and power of Malua as he goes forward. Supports is there, but great covering defence from Odongo, and James Odongo got back. Fiji, though, getting ever closer, trying every offload. And a knock-on from Sebuliba, and so Fiji will have the scrum.
Right, all-out action first and foremost. Big credit to Wokarach trying to get in behind. Another little deft chip that got up momentum initially. And this is when Fiji start flying. Great defence from the Ugandans trying to stop it, but these offloads are just relentless. Wokarach there calling the troops, saying we need to try and get the ball back.
A couple of changes being made as well. 12 players in each squad, so 5 replacements. And a couple brought on. Fiji will take a chance to just rest a few players now.
Bind. Set.
It's pretty warm still, 25 degrees or so. And Fiji out wide, and space and power once again by Sao, and Sao almost up to the line, sets it back. A high tackle coming in, Fijian penalty advantage, and there it is now. It'll be very quickly taken by Nasoko. Then rather loose again, gives Uganda a chance to creep up as Kurinambili gathered it. And there's the elaborate step from Nasoko, and then support line from Sao. Lovely gather off the ground, and he'll be rewarded with the try. Great skill from Nasila Sila. Wonderful hands on the ground. The ball was bouncing loose on the turf and scooped up, and then the step as well to finish.
Yeah, South combining well with the offloads out wide, and the Silla, wonderful pickup, the man of the final from the Hong Kong event where Fiji blitzed everyone that came near them. The Silla so good to bring on, just like Tuai and Ravovo, one of the players, one of the playmakers who control how this Fijian outfit plays. He's a good finisher himself.
We all good? Time. Yeah.
Water carriers go off. Very, very necessary in this temperature. Not blisteringly hot, but warm. And again, aerobically, it's a real challenge, Sevens.
Hold. Time back on. Let's go.
Silla is the man now taking the restart. Again, good height on it, down the middle. But Uganda able to challenge for this one. Opportunity now for Casito to come away. And gave it on to Kasiga, who felt the force of the hit. The crowd desperate for Uganda to find a score. You can hear that little roar whenever they make a half break. But a score is going to have to be hard-earned here. Powerful hits coming in. Kunatani flying up in the headband. And Uganda running out of ideas. You're not going to win the battle in the air against two giants for Fiji, who secure it. And now Uganda have to try and defend. Always the support runner there for Fiji. Goes loose this time. Scooped up by Nanduva. And there is Kunatani, one of the replacements. Gives it on to the equally powerful figure of Drani Sinikula. And Drani Sinikula, again, huge cheers as he's brought down, and it's hacked clear. Desperate measures from Uganda. Just gives another opportunity to Sao for Fiji. Advantage to Fiji as well, but Sao is skipping and jigging and scoring for Fiji. No, giving it on. Says, here, have a gift to Nansoko.
Well, talk about selfless play. No shocks to Fijians, spreading the love around their team. The crowd rocking to a bit of Justin Bieber, and the Fijians are marching to a serious rhythm.
I mean, a couple of talking points there as we watch that try. Firstly, you know this is Justin Bieber. I'm wondering why. Would you have given this pass as well when you were over the try line?
So, Roni Sam, new onto the 7 series, a very humble human being. Each one of these Fijians often have scripture on their arms. They talk about the team values. They have no desire whatsoever to build personal profiles, so it doesn't shock me at all. Would I have passed it? No.
It's all about the Vickerman stats.
I didn't get many, put it that way.
Yeah. As you raise an arm aloft in celebration with Justin Bieber written on your arm.
The crowd are enjoying it, why not?
40-0. And the crowd would love to, well, look at that restart again. They'd love to see Ugandan try, but it's going to be all Fijian pressure, I think, to finish. Although, taken down by Kasiga for Uganda, and Uganda have a penalty. So, Okia moves it and then shoveled sideways, and Ogena takes it in. Well, if they're going to score, they're going to have to do it from their own 22 as the white-shirted tackles rain in. Penalty to Fiji as well, so into the final 20 seconds, and there may be further discomfort here for Uganda. Again, the dancing yellow boots, and then on to Makura Nabili, and he thumps over for what should be the closing try, and an impressive shutout victory for Fiji.
Well, and just like Glasgow 2014, the crowd chanting Uganda. Even though Fiji have romped away with victory, both teams performed admirably, albeit one with slightly more expectation than the other.
So the conversion is the final touch of this game, and Fiji having beaten Sri Lanka 63-5. Well, I'll say the final touch of the game. You do have time to restart.
10 seconds, please.
So I'm not sure the scoring is over yet, because Fiji, well, a variation at the restart, it works just as well, and I wouldn't rule out another Fijian try here. Uganda looking rather tired, and Fiji moving it about, and it's going to be a try, another try for Drani Sinikula. So Fiji move past 50 points. And that's something to look out for again. If you're not used to watching sevens, the scoring doesn't finish until the very last passage of play. You can't shut out games either. If a side is a try, 2 tries behind, that can easily be overhauled for closer matches, which we'll see later, with Fiji scoring 2 tries in the last few seconds of this game.
Yeah, so many games are decided on those final plays, although it did look like there Uganda were playing touch rather than sevens rugby. That's how good Fiji can be.
And everything going for Fiji in off the posts, and that is the final touch of this game. So Fiji, they beat Sri Lanka 63-5, and they have now beaten Uganda 54-0. They're romping on, the favourites in this tournament, and they'll play Wales next. 54-0, Fiji win.